Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm a global artist ambassador for Fenix360, and I'm blessed to be joined today by the dancehall legend, HAWKEYE. HAWKEYE, how are you, man? Good to see you.
I'm doing fine, Johnny. How you doing over there?
I'm doing great too, brother. Thank you so much, man, for being with me. And listen, I am looking forward to learning about how you became a musical artist, HAWKEYE, and some of the highlights of your journey. But cool if we tune into your track, Who Dem a Ramp With?
Yes.
Excellent, man.
Well,
So,
first of all, let me just say thank you very much for having me on your program. It's a pleasure. Big up yourself, Johnny. Give it a bye. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. So, everyone, let's tune in now to HAWKEYE with Who Dem a Ramp With.
Who them a ramp with? Who them a ramp with? Who them a ramp? 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 Them a friend we not friend them. Jaja send we, who send them? Say them a gallus and a beer man back of them. Taxi gang a go nail and mack of them. How them a follow we and we never follow them? I say them a go do and not do nothing. Chatter them, man rise and it wheel and stammer them. For what them do no matter we, but what we do matter them. Who them a ramp? 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 Behind back, them pass be a remark. See them are your friend, hypocritical talk. That's why me not just shut after dark. Enough of them a wolf wrap up in a sheep cloth. Them sell out themselves to Satan and a laugh. Nowadays mankind are no heart. Look for them we kill you for the truth where you talk. So watch out for them with the 3 teeth fork. Who them a ramp? Who them a ramp? Who them a ramp? Who them a ramp? Who them a ramp?
HAWKEYE, excellent, man. Great to share your music with everyone. Thank you so much. Now, can you tell
You're
me
welcome.
where did you originate? Where are you from? And how did you first get involved in music?
Well, Hawkeye is originally from Kingston. My parents were born in Manchester, you
Uh-huh.
know, but they had their children in Kingston. So I was really one of them that really born in downtown Kingston, at a clinic they call Kiwanis Maternity Clinic that's in Tivoli Gardens, what
Uh-huh.
we call TG in Jamaica. So
Yeah.
that's where Hawkeye was born. My youthful days was, I grew up in the Jonestown area, the Arnett Garden area, that area, of Elliston Road, of
Uh-huh.
that area, and grew up off Hagley Park Road coming up, you know. But never get deep into music until the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, because I used to just DJ as an hobby. It's not something that I wanted to do seriously. I was just doing
Professional,
it as
yeah.
an
Uh-huh.
hobby, you know. So, I was just encouraged by friends, a friend in particular, Arville, he lives in Texas. He's the one who brought me to the legendary Danny Brownie of Main Street Records,
Right.
and that's really how I started out serious, you
Oh
know.
man.
But
That
before that, I
uh-huh.
had a friend by the name of John Mills. He was the first person to produce a song with Hawkeye. My first record was produced by John Mills. John Mills was a guy who had a girlfriend in the area that I used to live, but him admired the talent, wanted to show me that I have a talent and can do it. So he's the first one took me into the studio to record a song. And that song was called Patwa. You know, that song was recorded in 1988. You know? Yes, at the time I was still a teenager. I was like about 18, 19 years old when I did that song. You know, so from there I got the motivation to, you know, get involved a little more professionally on the professional side. Because as I said before, all I wanted to do was just do it as an hobby.
Right, I'm hearing because you're having fun with it, man. But obviously, you know, you had that skill, and people would respond to the way you DJ. You know, it's interesting.
Yes,
It's, you know,
most
fortunate you
definitely.
find someone like John recognized your raw talent, you know, and wanted to support you actually starting to create professional, you know, contributions in that way, man.
Yes,
And
yes,
listen,
definitely.
Tivoli Gardens, these are sacred places in Kingston, Jamaica, you know, where you originate as well. And so many talents, and you're surrounded by so much great artistry in terms of the music culture there in Kingston. You know, Hawkeye, were there other, I mean, and dance hall in particular too, were there other artists in dance hall that you looked at and said, oh man, you know what I mean? I appreciate their vibe.
Yes, yes, most definitely. You know, I mean, remember in the early days, like in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, I was born in the 70s, you
Uh-huh.
know, so I only used to hear the music, you know, wasn't really affiliated with artists who are doing the music. I used to just hear because my dad had a turntable in his home and he
Uh-huh.
used to buy the records. So he used
Cool.
to play Dennis Brown a lot, Percy Sledge, and you know, these, you know, a few artists that I don't remember their names, but the records were there,
Yeah.
you know. But the first time I really convinced myself that I love the music and want to be a part is when I heard a bridge them called Lieutenant Stitchy. You
Uh-huh.
know, when I heard Lieutenant Stitchy for the first time, because during those times it used to be cassette. So you have the stereo one cassette them days, then the stereograph and the scarp, jock scarp, your eye power. You know, you have all these sounds that, you know, used to have the DJs them, you know, when they play the music, they flip the record to the version and the
Right.
instrumental, and the artists them take it up and start DJ. Now, Lieutenant Stitcher was the first artist me hear where when me hear Lieutenant, I said, wait, no,
Yeah.
sir, I'm on a bad because Lieutenant had a way of flipping
Right.
and stuff like that. And I said, whoa, wicked. The like the vibe there, you know. So he was the first one who I start, you know, emulate and have him say, yes, I'm an artist. And, you know, from there, I take it from there. You know, you have other artists who came afterwards. I mean, Papa San was like Stitchy. They were friends, but, you know, lyrical rivals.
Right. Uh-huh.
I like Papa San too, but it's just, I guess maybe it's that edgy voice about Stitchy that I like more than Papa San, you know?
Understood.
So,
Yeah.
but I know I've raised Papa San, you know, you have, you know, people like, you know, Wickerman, you hear Wickerman, them you hear the Papa San, them you hear the Joseph Wales, you know, the all these people, the Admiral Tibbets, you know, you hear, you know, the shibbly what widdly whoa, you know, you're
Yeah.
hearing Barrington Levy, all these people, and you know, but because I wasn't a singer, you know, I love the singing, the Dennis Brown, you know the whole word because my daddy had a Dennis Brown album in the house, and
Oh,
that's
nice.
all he plays every weekend. So Dennis Brown was naturally loved and played as a little
Yes.
youth. And I'm like, just grew up on Dennis Brown, you know, as
Yes.
a singer, you know. But
Yes.
after that, you know, you have people, the likes like, you know, I mean, when I heard Ninja Man for the first, I mean, Shabba was like awesome. But when I heard Ninja Man, the way how Ninja Man DJ, you know, with the staccato and stammer kind of style, it's like
Right.
that also take it to another level, you know, of
Yes.
thinking in music, you know, with the stitchy, you know, fast, and then you have this man with us murder them. Me not come
Yeah,
to
right.
chat and
Exactly.
talk,
Like it's
murder them. You know, so it was like a whole transition, and it let me now think as an artist, you know, to develop myself that way when we can have a style of my own where it's unique, and also lyrical. And I guess
Yes.
these are the people who really, kind of mold Hawkeye within myself, to be the Hawkeye that I'm at today.
Hey, Hawkeye, that's why I asked, you know what I mean? And I think it's kind of important when you consider like some of those other artistic influences that may have driven your own passion, things that we love,
Yes.
we might want to integrate, or it just becomes a natural part of us. That's why we're mirroring others that also are developing a certain style. You mentioned the different tempo
Yes.
ranges, between
Yeah.
Luton and Ninja, for example,
Right.
right? And
Right.
I got to tell you what, now you've integrated into that where you can be that boop, 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 or you can, style it down.
Yes.
And this is very
Yes.
powerful, man, because it just shows range,
Sure.
right?
Yes, it
And
does.
especially in the 90s, dance hall really was in just like a peak period, it
It
seemed,
was dynamic.
right? Yeah,
It was
man.
like, yeah, it was like a fruit, a new fruit to the plantation that was just bearing. It was
Yes.
just bearing, and it was so dynamic, you know?
Yeah. And I think
Yeah,
also
man.
it colorized in a way, you know what I mean, the offerings of, creativity that were happening in and around Kingston, to
Yeah.
not to rival, but to kind of complement another um whole vibe and feeling alongside of roots and reggae,
Yes,
and
yes,
so,
yes,
and that's,
yes.
yeah, very dynamic. And at the same time, that's when hip hop was really in its emerging as well, you know what I mean, in its infancy in New York, for example, at the same time in those 90s period of time when there was a real
Right,
resurgence in dance hall. So I
right.
think there are some similar themes with regard lyrical, how those two genres, dance hall and hip hop, kind of have some similarity. But let me ask this question. How about, what your current focus is, Hawkeye? You've had kind of a glorious career to date. And what is your current focus?
All right. My focus is, now as you can see behind me, I'm sitting behind this backdrop with the legendary Sly over here,
Yeah,
and Robbie. As you can see, the guitar angle is holding the bass there.
that's right.
So I'm actually in the Sly and Robbie camp at the moment. And
Okay.
the video you played before, the very first one, the Udama Rampwood, was produced by the legendary Sly and Robbie. Robbie is
Yeah.
not around anymore, God rest his soul, but they're still on, one banner, you
Uh-huh.
know.
Yes.
So we're working on some new stuff. I have a new song out, a couple of new songs out. One with Amberly called "When You Love Someone." I have another one called "The Thing Set" with Sly, which he created a new sound of drum pattern. I actually identified it and said, Sly, this can be the next move for dancehall based on the sound, the boop 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 boop
Right.
boop. So that's how Sly played. And I said, wow, that's wicked. So
Right.
this is the sound that he's trying to put out there. So we're working now with a new sound, the thing set. And then I have another song that has released like probably about a month now. It's called Hand Up There. So
Yeah.
these are the songs that we're pushing now. And I have another song out. With my fellow student, my fellow music artist, Chico.
Chico?
Yeah, a lot of people know Chico, so he used to, also dominate the 90s also. So I have a song out with him called Real Pro. So working on a lot of stuff here. And with the legend, you can't go wrong, you know?
Yeah,
When you're
man.
in a camp like, this, producers who have produced so many platinum songs and songs in the Billboard and, play a part for, artists who are out there internationally. When you're, as my grandmother used to say, what drop off head, drop on shoulder, you see me? So once you're around the right people are,
Yes, man.
powerful people, automatically you'll become powerful if you're focused enough and doing the work.
Hawkeye, it's a thing of blending of energies, man. And you know what I mean? When
Yes.
you're in the presence of that greatness with Sly and also Robbie's energy in terms of his soul's presence, uh,
Yeah, they're great. And very
they're
humble
the
people to work
greats.
with.
That's
Yes,
right.
they are. And
It's
very nice people to work with. So I,
yes.
I, I, I feel comfortable, You know, not that I'm working off comfort, but music is a comfort thing, you know. It's like when you're in a camp or you're in a place where you feel comfortable, that's when the lyrical juices flow. You see what I'm saying? It's just
Yes.
like when I was in Main Street. Main Street was my first musical um university where you have the likes of General Degree, Papa San, Lieutenant Stitchie, and that's where I get to meet the greats,
Yeah, man.
Richie Stevens and all these people, Red Rat Goofy, Maranjo, Buccaneer, Chrissy D, Lady G. I mean, these greats, some of them, I mean, like Red Rat and Goofy, me, Maranjo, and Chrissy D were the new generation guys. We were the new youth, and a youth them called Maranjo also. We are the new, but the rest of them like Lady G and the Papas and them and the Stitchy and Degree, Buccaneer, those were the founders in those times, that we emulate and go among now to see that they are the ones in the camp and we now are coming as a new generation.
Yes,
So
brother.
once you're in a comfort zone where you can work with everybody and everybody accept you, that's the time when your mind is at ease, so you can think properly, you can write your lyrics, you run your joke, you can, you help our next man with our lyrics now and then a line sometime and they do the same. So it was like that family thing. So once you get into a place where it is all the ambience is all great, you find that lyrics just have flow, lyrics have a run, like
Right.
a river. You see, so it's the same thing here, at Taxi Gang. The thing just keep going, because you're around nice people. And here we also have the likes of Anthony Red Rose, as a artist, everybody know Tempo. My God, it's a sound in a
Yes,
tempo.
yeah, right.
So it's also a part of the camp. Also, Devanti and Tanto Metro, they are here too.
Yeah.
So we're around some very lovely people. So we're
No
just doing the
question.
work, right? We're putting in the work.
HAWKEYE, your orbit, man. They're such powerful people and beautiful people. And I got to tell you what, I feel
Very much
fortunate
so.
too, because I've had the opportunity to meet in Jamaica a number of the dance hall greats. So I've met with Ninja Man,
Yes.
I've met with General Degree, Decor and
Right.
Bugle, and a number of wonderful artists, powerful
Right.
personalities, but humble and gracious, and my teachers, man. And you're
Yes.
no exception. So I really appreciate you. Now, let me
Thank you
ask
very
this
much. Thank
question.
you.
HAWKEYE, how do people connect with you in the digital world? What about your social channels and your handles?
Okay. Well, the world, Johnny, the world want to get to Hawkeye right now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. On Facebook, my
Yeah.
Facebook is all about Hawkeye Music One. That's my fan page, Hawkeye Music One on Facebook. And my regular page is Christopher Hawkeye Smith. You
Okay.
know, right? On YouTube, you know that you can check out my channel at Hawkeye Dancehall, and that's HAWKEYE and it's one word. Don't
Got it.
separate them, just join them together. Hawkeye Dancehall on
HAWKEYE Dance
YouTube.
Hall. Yeah.
Right. On Twitter, it's Hawkeye Reggae. On Twitter, Hawkeye Reggae. And then you have a thing I'm called Instagram. On
Yeah.
Instagram now, you'll find me at Christopher Hawkeye.
Cool, man. Well,
Yes.
listen, I got to tell you what, I'm interested in putting all those links below our interview today so that people can discover you there. But also, HAWKEYE, we're looking forward to you being on the Fenix360 app too, because
Most definitely.
it is emerging also as a platform where artists and fans can connect and collaborate. And your
Right.
profile there will be important for people to magnetically connect to. And
Yes.
I appreciate you being a part of it and meeting with me today. HAWKEYE, let me ask this question. If I was a young artist and I was thinking about coming up and dance hall was my thing, and is there any advice you would give them, or any, especially with the kind of challenges in becoming an established artist, what would you recommend for them?
Well, my recommendation to artists who are inspired to do music or want to be a part of this music fraternity or arena, I've always tell artists to be themselves, be creative. Because when you're a creator, it's hard to get out a creator. You will always be there because you'll be creating and creating, and your creation will even last up to the test of time, because the fact that you're creating and keep creating if it's not for this generation, it will be for the next generation or the other generation. You know, so, and I mean, everything comes in time. You know, that's one of the most important things that people need to know, that nothing doesn't happen same time. You plant a seed, the seed is gonna take a while because you have to water it, you have to nurture it, you have to do all of these things, groom it in order for the tree to grow. So I always encourage artists to be patient, be original and creative, focus, and just do your thing and praise the King.
Yes,
you know?
brother. Yes.
Yeah. Kind of business like this, you need the Almighty beside you, in front of you, above you, underneath your foot, and behind you. You need him right around you, circumferentially, 360.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, you can't do without the Almighty in this world, you know, and especially in music, you know. Yeah, yes. Man.
Listen, man, I really appreciate those insights, man. I think they're powerful. You know, do your thing, you know, and praise the King. I just think that is very simple.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm not cutting you, I'm sorry. The reason why I said do your thing, you know, I remember when I used to go on tour and go out there, places like England and these Germany and these places. Yeah. Patrons used to come to me and tell me that they don't understand what we're saying, but they love the vibe. You know, so apparently we were doing our thing and did not know that our thing, people don't understand it, but at least they enjoy the whole vibe, the whole ambience. Yeah. So, I mean, you have to also encourage others who are coming to do their thing, because for them inspiration, because they never know where it might get. Do your thing, but make sure you praise the King and keep original and keep creative. You know, and you can't go wrong, and just be focused. You know, so once you have all of that, and be patient also, because a lot of artists, I've seen a lot of artists come in this business. Their friends and them followers feel that they would have bust today, or they would have bust the 1990, but it never happened. And because of that, most of them fade away. They leave the arts alone standing there, you know?
Yes.
You coming up in the business now doesn't necessarily mean you're going to burst today because you have the baddest lyrics. That lyrics might not ready until 2025 to the world. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to be patient. If you don't have patience, you'll walk out of music. You'll walk, leave it. You'll turn it back.
Yes. And listen, I appreciate that too. You know, it's almost like if you just love the process of the creation, then ultimately seeds you plant that come to fruition later, it's all a process of loving what you're giving. And I think that service and delivery is something that should feed you. And not have kind of like, oh, I'm, you know, success and fame is, you know, is the ultimate. It's almost the creative process. If you love it, those aspirations have potential to be reached, but all along the way, you're being blessed. All along the way, you're creating and becoming new. So I love that, bud, you know, and I appreciate the way that you articulate it. And also, if you don't mind, you know, do your thing and praise the King is something I might also to others. So this is the kind of blending that I appreciate a lot, man, and learning from you and sharing your music and learning about how you originated and the kind of impact you've made over these decades in this genre and elsewhere among your people. HAWKEYE, appreciate you, man. Thanks for connecting with me today.
Yeah, man, blessed love. And I always also want, you know, before I go, also want them to know that here at Taxi Gang, One Pop Recording Studio is the place to be, you know. Yeah, with the likes of Roar Baker, he's the engineer here. He has engineered a lot of, also on this Gwen Stefan big song, Oh Baby, he's the one who recorded and mixed it. So he's also here. So we are surrounded by beautiful and great people, you know. So the world can expect greatness more from HAWKEYE, you know. And Johnny.
Yes, brother. Thank you, HAWKEYE. All right, everybody, tune in to the social media channels you find below this interview for HAWKEYE. And also look for his rise on the Fenix360 app. And my brother, carry on, man. Blessings and respect. Thanks for hooking up with me.
Much respect. Blessed love. Thanks for having me. Give it a bye. Who them around word, Johnny? Pick up yourself. Fenix360. I'm out.
Respect.
Galawas, man a galawas. Girl full up of the honey, so we follow bees, we no follow us. Okay, we get girls everywhere we go. Them fi know we a boy, we star, we show. We no double blank, we no pose like domino. We get the girls them everywhere we go. From Jamaica to Mexico, like Twitter, like IG, we them a follow. Cause we touch up them keep and them piano. We get the girls them everywhere we go. Man a champion, girls them want bad man for hang pan, for knock up them bass and them bad pan. Stand up in the furlong, run the marathon for long long. Give them the dang dang diggy dang dang. Inna the mansion, blaze up them lantern. These are the ram jam, girl belly bang bang. Sweetheart so much she bust, beer rappa pam pam. Ship girl like car from Barbados to Ancanca. We get girls everywhere we go. Them fi know we a boy, we star, we show. We no double blank, we no pose like domino. We get the girls them everywhere we go. From Jamaica to Mexico, like Twitter, like IG, we them a follow. Cause we touch up them keep and them piano. We get the girls them everywhere we go. Them say wow, wow, them know me no gal. The girl them say them love me and them want me now. Them love the way me farm, them land when me plow. And select them sound like me name we pow. Them say wow, them say wow. Give me some of that now. Them ready to stand with me cause them know me no bow. Me mix up me carrot in a them pop chow. Vegetarian, no eat, no cow, no sow. Wow. We get girls everywhere we go. Them fi know we a boy, we star, we show. We no double blank, we no pose like domino. We get the girls them everywhere we go. From Jamaica to Mexico, like Twitter, like IG, we them a follow. Cause we touch up them keep and them piano. We get the girls them everywhere we go. Girls easy if you get to we, no sweat. Have them like 1, 2, 3, you want bet. Where we think set to get the girls them wet. Have them made a way, that's all we them can't forget. Girls them call a professor, how we phenomenal. Give them lot of pleasure, lot of pain, abdominal. Treat them like human, we don't treat them like animal. That's why we have girls not like patients in a hospital. We get girls everywhere we go. Them fi know we a boy, we star, we show. We no double blank, we no pose like domino.